Hello, and welcome to the University of Advancing Technology. My name is Dr. David Bolman. I'm the provost here. I want to welcome you to campus, and I want to start out your day by giving you a bit of a story that helps you put into context what you're going to see at UAT. Now, UAT, you can sift the entire country, and you'll find almost no institutions like us. We really are unique. And we're unique because for over 30 years, what we've done is we've focused on preparing people to think and grow and create with technology. And why this is important? It's because the landscape of work in our country has fundamentally changed. And to understand that, here's some data. U.S. Department of Labor, since about forever, has been tracking jobs in our country. And if you were to look back in the 1950s, what you would have seen is that most of the jobs in the country were just jobs. Working in a factory, doing agriculture, things like that. After that, what you'd see is there's jobs called service jobs, medical jobs, office jobs, and the like. The lowest jobs, less than 10% really, were creative jobs, jobs you create things. You roll forward now, everything is different. What you find now, and going into 2025, and most of the students who look at UAT are getting ready to graduate from us, jobs, workforce jobs, are the bottom, maybe 10-15%. Service jobs are about the same, but what's really exciting is that the creative class jobs, STEM jobs, tech jobs, they are moving to somewhere between 35 to 45% of all jobs. And in Phoenix, it's much closer to 45. In fact, Forbes magazine in 2014 identified Phoenix as one of the top 3 cities in our country as places where technology is growing and thriving. And why is that happening? You can just look around me. Everything that's happening here with the internet and information technology has changed our landscape. You can't spend a day without being touched on technology almost every minute. And what that needs is a workforce behind it that creates this technology, builds with this technology, and can think about this technology. And that's what we do at UAT better than anybody else. We do it in 3 ways. First, at UAT, you're going to dive into technology immediately. And you're going to see it throughout this tour. You're going to see every room is filled with technology, and you're going to touch it as a student here all the time. And what's great is you're working alongside of students and faculty in a small private college setting. And our faculty are brilliant. These are faculty who are deep in technology, they know tons about it, and they're used to working with small teams of students to help you grow, because that's the priority. In fact, it's such a big deal in working with technology here. What you're going to find is in your first 2 years, you're going to learn how to program robots, code, build databases, do cyber work, and get your hands deep into the technology. So much so that by the end of your second year here, you're going to be really ready to go out and work in the field. And why that is important to me is that as a college student, you want to be independent as soon as possible. It's part of the growth process, it's part of college, and it feels good, it feels right. And while you won't get the same kind of jobs at the end of your second year that you would when you graduate, you're going to get a job coding in tech, building in tech, that's much better than working at a cash register. And so we make sure you're in it fast and you're in it deep, and it's all around you. The second thing that we do at UAT as part of our model is it's a real college experience. We want you to think about tech. We want you to grow with tech. We want you to be able to merge technology with a greater human experience. So what that means is while you're here, you're going to take art classes, you're going to take literature classes, you're going to take social science classes. You're going to build and create tech that's aesthetic and makes sense to people who aren't part of the tech space, because that's where great tech comes from. And one of my favorite examples of that is one of the first classes all students take here is called Thinking Strategies. And this is a really cool class. It's not specifically about tech, it's about all the toolkits that you have to solve tech puzzles. And you work not in your discipline, but with students from all disciplines to solve different kinds of tech problems and learn to think about tech so that after you graduate, you can keep relearning and reworking with tech and get better at it so as the tech changes, you grow with it. And it's a great example of that. Recently, a class was given the puzzle of how do you solve tying shoes if you have just one hand? It's a very real issue. It affects more people than you might think. And so the students got together and in 2 weeks had to come up with a concept for how do you solve shoes with one hand, build a working prototype, and then pitch it. And this is an example of it. If you can imagine, what this does is you slide it in the front of a shoe and that holds the laces in place so that the other hand can do it. Our students did this. This is printed on a 3D printer. They presented it, and they finished that class as a freshman with something that they could take to market and were very excited about. That in a nutshell is why bringing all the concepts of a full college experience with technology together is so incredibly valuable. Now, the third thing that we do here that makes UAT work is we have an incredible focus on building complete projects. It doesn't matter whether you're cyber or robotics or programming or game or DV or whatever. We're going to have you build and create again unique projects. In fact, the challenge I make to students all the time is I want every student here each semester to soup to nuts build a complete version of whatever it is you study. Now, the first few of these aren't going to be the best. Some of the teams won't gel, some of the things won't come together. But what's great about this model is that through our weekend jams and our competitions and our curriculum focus on projects first, by the time you graduate, you know what it feels like and you know how to be successful with projects as an undergraduate. So as a result, by the time you go to your very first job, you're building amazing things. And to give you an example of that, let me show you this. This right here is an autonomous drone, which you might not think is all that exciting because we've seen them. It's been a big topic in the news about privacy and how they're affecting our lives. What's amazing about this drone, that gets me very excited, is this drone was completed soup to nuts this semester. Students in our autonomous vehicle course, as their senior year, built this drone. It had nothing to start. Every bit of code they did. They coded within 3 weeks how to make this drone stand up and stabilize. Robotics students worked alongside programming students, working alongside maker students to build the pieces and bring it together. And by the end of the first semester, what this drone is going to be capable of doing is being able to respond to audio controls so that loud sounds make it go up, quiet sounds make it go down, leftward sounds make it go left, right go to right. This is an amazing thing for undergraduate. In fact, usually when you see technology programs, you see really high-level tech, what you're looking at is graduate student work. This is the work of undergraduates, and it shows what our students accomplish by the time they finish up. Now what this means is between the deep dive in technology, a project focus, and bringing all of human existence into the concept of what makes great tech great, it's a lot of work, but it's very exciting and prepares you for what happens next. And so as you look at everything today and you view our campus, I want you to see it through this lens. And when you're done, if you decide to come on, I'm looking to see you at an orientation, and more importantly, I'm very excited to see you at a graduation. Have a great day. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed your tour and got a deeper dive into what makes UAT so special. You've seen that UAT is an elite private university with a high-touch family environment built around mentorship and coaching. That its educational model is about the journey from true immersion to mastery of the craft. And you've seen that it's a safe place, a perfect incubator for students who love to dream and create, individuals with an affinity for emerging tech and collaborating with others with similar passions. Now you've seen that not only does UAT offer the most cutting-edge degrees in technology, advanced far beyond other schools, but that it produces alumni who become masters of their craft. Our students earn tech respect by achieving real innovation that catapults them at the beginning trajectory of their life's work, years before their counterparts studying in other schools. They start their careers at higher levels because of their collaborative project-based education, the open lab mashups, real-world experiences they gain at UAT. So think about it. When you learn in such a rich emerging tech environment, alongside like-minded, passionate people, and with a teaching methodology like synchronic learning, when you experience working in cross-discipline teams in a 24/7 living learning environment and create innovations like the student innovation projects you saw today, then you will earn tech respect, allowing you to create, innovate, and truly change the world. Now, I'd love you to hear this from some UAT graduates, but first, let me thank you for investing your time with us. And once again, I look forward to seeing you at a UAT graduation.
Network security involves having the ability to test the security controls of any system, specifically networks, but anything that's associated with that. UAT prepares students by putting them right next to industry professionals as their professors and provides them access to hardware that normally students don't get to even play with. They get a massive cyber lab that DoD has funded for you to start up as many VMs as you want and go nuts. While I was at UAT, I participated in CCDC, HATS, which was a cybersecurity club that we ran at school. We volunteered at DEF CON and Black Hat. We had a lot of fun. After graduating UAT, I co-authored a book, and I've been a federal contractor for 2 very large U.S. agencies.
My name is Daniel Sontag. I'm originally from San Jose, California. I went to UAT, and now I live in Amarillo, Texas, and I work for KVII-TV, which is an ABC and CW affiliate. Well, my official job title is the Creative and Promotions Director, so I'm pretty much in charge of a creative team, and our job is to create commercials for local businesses. And then on the flip side, on the promotions side, I actually help promote the news team. UAT really helped to prepare me for my career by giving me the core values of what I needed for the industry to really go anywhere that I wanted to go. UAT works really hard to individualize the career paths for the students. There were really 2 professors at UAT that helped me on my path. First is Paul Denigris. He is the digital video professor here at UAT. I would stay late in the digital video lab, and I would text Paul. He gave me his personal cell phone number, and anytime I ran into problems with the software, with Avid Media Composer, I would text him. And secondly is Sharon Bolman here at UAT. She is in the digital video program, but she teaches a lot of the core parts of DV. Paul teaches the on-set product, where Sharon will teach things like lighting techniques, acting, directing, makeup, kind of all the behind-the-scenes stuff is what Sharon does. And she was just always there. She even came to a lot of my outside curricular activities. Just anything I needed, these 2 teachers, Sharon Bolman and Paul Denigris, were always there, always helping us cultivate our abilities. Being able to have those individualized times with your professors is something that, money almost can't buy. If you go to a state school, you can sit in a classroom with 100 other people. The professor will never know your name. He'll never know who you are. He'll never know what you're good at. Now at UAT, when I was here, we had class sizes in the DV program once we got to the higher levels, the 300-400 level classes of maybe 8-10 people. And that was our crew. That was our team. And so we got to sit there and have those heart-to-hearts with our professor and say, you know what, here's what I want to do. Here's what I think I'm good at. How can I get better at this? And he would take those times to sit down with you individually and figure out, how am I going to get you to where you want to be? I think my single favorite thing about UAT is really just being surrounded by people who felt like they were like me. UAT is a place that cultivates great minds, but it's the great minds that people didn't notice. They didn't notice them in high school, or they thought they were weird or just so different that they're not like me, so I'm not gonna pay attention to them. When on the inside, they're going home and they're playing with that technology, they're learning how to code, or they're learning how to animate, or they're learning how to make short films, or what have you. And when you come here, it's not weird anymore. You're completely normal. You're surrounded by people who are interested in the same things that you are.
My name is Merrick Graves. I'm from Stafford, Virginia originally. I currently live in Brooklyn, New York. I'm the Executive Director of Technology at Omnivista Solutions. Omnivista Solutions is a boutique consulting firm. We specialize in financial service offerings. So we build custom software, we do implementation and customization of trading systems for buy-side firms like hedge funds, investment banks. So when I first came to the school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do exactly, but I knew I wanted to get in CAD, I wanted to be in virtual reality, I wanted to be doing stuff with computers. And that was really the beginning of the .com explosion. Right? I came here in '96. I remember sitting in the cafe. They had computer kiosks out, working with like Mozilla, the first version of the internet browser, trying to figure out what all this stuff meant. Working with like WinSock DLLs and establishing connections. Right, just everything was new to everybody. So I came to UAT to sort of realize what I thought was the dream of getting involved in computers, not really knowing what that would be. And then once I got here, different classes kind of changed my direction a little bit, and that's really when I was able to sort of understand what the future of the field. So one of the things that UAT really provides that I've always felt was a major differentiator against all the other programs that are out there is you get into a small environment with other people who are really passionate about doing something creative, working with technology. And that could be, writing software, it could be building games, it could be, in film and 3D animation and special effects. I mean, it's just an amazing wealth of potential coming through here. And you're gonna meet all these people. So coming to a program like UAT, you come here because of the potential, and then, it almost like marries, you with what's out there. You need to be the one who knocks on the window and says, hey, what's that? That looks cool. But it's there, right? We have it, they have it everywhere around here. You walk through the halls and you're like, I want to be working with that. Hey, what are you working on? Oh, I'm doing this thing. Oh, that's so cool. How do I do that? Well, have a seat. Let me show you. I mean, that's happens every single day, right? I haven't been back in 8 years, and I sat down yesterday and I put on a VR headset that I hadn't been able to do in 15 years. And I was blown away what's out there. I wanted to come back and work on projects, sit in the new technology lab and just hack away on stuff until 3 o'clock in the morning like I used to. And that's why I came here. And every time I come back, I'm always like kind of re-inspired. Like, I wish I could send my kids here. When I look back on how I got to where I am now, right? A partner in a firm, working in New York City, I've got a corner office in Bryant Park, right? And successful by anybody's standard. And I look back at UAT and how it prepared me for things. And I think that the biggest piece that students need to get out of this is they need to learn how to learn, right? They need to learn how to adapt. They need to think, I want to do technology, great. Project yourself 3 years from now. What's going to be the skill set that I need to be good at in order to be successful? Project yourself 5 years out. What's probably going to be something I should keep an eye on? And ask yourself these questions like on a monthly basis. What should I be doing to improve myself, right? It's a very difficult thing for someone like myself to find qualified software developers. It's hard. I interview people all the time, and I don't think they're up to the grade. I look at people coming out of this program, and I think they're all great, but you know what? They're all hired before I even get a chance to talk to them. So, they need to be patient. They need to understand that, nothing's going to be handed to me. I have to work hard for it, but there are opportunities there. If you work hard and you embrace, the thing that excites you the most, be good at that thing, and you can find, you can be successful working in that area.
I think what's great about UAT is that you're surrounded by people that want to do the same things you do. I went to the University of Hawaii at Hilo first doing traditional art, and they didn't really have any graphics. So looking online, with help from my parents, we found 3 schools. One was Full Sail, the other one was University of San Jose. They had a really good animation program at the time. Well, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do animation or video or any of that other stuff, and the last one we found was UAT. So yeah, we looked at those 3 schools and ended with UAT because when we called and talked to them, they were the nicest people. Like, honestly, I had all my questions that I wanted to be answered. I called them, they talked to me, and we decided that's where I should go. When I went to UAT, the degree I decided on was digital animation. I didn't really know what that meant at the time. I just knew I wanted to work in movies, animations in movies, right? So I went with digital animation. Towards the end of my stay at UAT, I actually ended up double majoring in digital animation and digital video. They're very interconnected because whenever you do any sort of animation work, you are looking through a camera because you're confined to a composition, and that is, as soon as you look through a camera, your composition comes into play. So understanding compositional techniques that you learned in digital video, you apply that to everything else that you do. One cool thing at UAT is they have a green screen room. Most of the shots I do, 80% of the shots I do all day long are shot on green screen. We also have a mocap studio, which is really fun. I actually got to put on the suit and dance around and watch it go to a 3D character. These are all things that I learned at UAT that I apply every day. UAT was a friendly environment to be in. Yeah, you were with people that like the same things you like to. They like to play video games, they like to watch movies, they like to work on stuff, and they want to be better at what they do. And just that positive learning environment that UAT provides is so helpful for someone that might feel like they're an outcast. Like at UAT, no one's an outcast. Paul Dominguez was my digital video professor at UAT and one of my mentors at UAT. I asked him how to get where I need to go. Like, how do I get here? And he told me the best single piece of advice. He's like, you need to go to LA. The job that you are meant to do is in LA. And I took that advice, and that's where I went. It's true though. Like, it's not smoke. I graduated with 2 degrees, digital video and digital animation, and I've contacted this company probably about like 5 times. Was saying like, hey, I do compositing. Oh, that didn't work. I do 3D stuff. That didn't work. I'm really good at PA jobs. That's the one that got me a call back. They're like, oh, this guy's a PA. It'll be awesome. But my background is in compositing and visual effects. Everything that I've been doing since I was in school. But I told him I was a PA just to see if I could get my foot in the door. I get in there. I talk to the guy. He's like, oh, so you do motion graphics, right? I was like, no. I'm here for the PA position. He's like, oh. I'm like, but I have my motion graphics reel right here if you want to see it. I get back to work Monday, and then Tuesday I get a phone call. They wanted me to start Thursday. And my first real professional shot was working on NBC's Knight Rider in 2008 for a company called Master Key. I worked on Knight Rider for about a year, doing compositing and mainly motion graphics. After Knight Rider is when I got to work on Avatar, which was so far like one of the biggest things I got to work on. Being there working on it, it was a phenomenal experience. I got to work with amazing art directors, amazing artists that I have worked with for the past 2 years. We all met on Avatar, and the coolest part about being on Avatar was getting your notes directly from James Cameron. The opportunities that came from working on Avatar have got me to where I am today because the art director that I worked with, we did all the motion graphics together, and he has called me 4 or 5 times since then to work on other movies or commercials, TV spots, and it's all because I worked on Avatar with him. It's all about connecting and meeting people, and I met people at UAT that have followed me through. I know the people I met at UAT and know all their kids' names. I go to their birthday parties. We're just that connected because we went to the same school, we work on the same projects. It's like a second family, the people you meet. 100%, I'm really happy I chose UAT because if I didn't, I would have never met the people that have got me where I am today. I get paid to do magic every day. Come on, can't get any better than that.